Fox 29, the Save Our Streets initiative explores ideas and solutions to help make our communities safer. And tonight we meet an activist against gun violence turned victim. Shawnette, introduce us to Diamond Wilson.
Well, Jason, she's a beautiful girl and talented too. When she was 14 years old, she wrote a song about gun violence. It was performed all over, but now she is a victim herself, and it has changed her life.
In the stand, no act of kindness goes unpunished. Nothing you do counts for anything. There's nothing you can do. There's no gesture you can do. There's no activism you can do. There's no bridging the gap, olive branch, none of that. It's just random. And if you're there in the stand, you can get it just as much as someone who owes the guy who got the gun $1 million. You can get it just as much as somebody who hog spitting the guy who has the gun's face. Okay? There's no... It just happens.
Absorb it. That's his comfort.
It's the only way 22-year-old Diamond Wilson says her two young sons, Kamad and Nurmad, can understand the scars and bandages on her face. But the harsh reality is she was shot and will likely lose her left eye.
I will never get vision in that eye because the bullet literally bust the eye open.
Wow, I feel so sorry for this young mother, man. God, dog. It's a cruel place, man. The stand is a cruel place. Things just happen and no one is held accountable and lives are just changed forever. This woman's life is going to be changed forever. Now she has one eye. I'm very familiar with that. I was in a fight in, 2008? Long story. I've told this story plenty of times, but you guys that are new to the channel anyway. During the fight, I took a shot, straight jab. I mean, whoo! And this was, about the third person that I had fought within a few minutes. But it wasn't a jump. I'm not going to say it was a jump. It was just like a gauntlet. And then it turned into a jump. But anyway, homie caught me straight flush. I'm talking about right down Main Street. Bing. And I should have went to the hospital, but I had too much pride. I don't want to feel like nobody put me in the hospital. But anyway, my vision in my eye, like right here, when I'm looking, it's kind of panned. Like when I took the vision testing for my license, it said I had pan vision. Like it's like wavy. So when you have one of something, now, when you only have one of something, you hold it dear. Because the other one is, you're down to your last man. It's like you playing, video game and you're your last man. So this woman has one eye left. And, man, so sad, man. I feel terrible for her.
But the harsh reality is she was shot and will likely lose her left eye.
I will never get vision in that eye because the bullet literally bust the eye open.
She says someone fired several shots near 59th and Filbert in West Philly as she and a friend were driving by headed to a neighborhood store. It happened in the early morning hours of October 7th.
Just ride down the street. The bullet just comes through the car and hits you in your eye.
October 7th.
I didn't think I was going to make it just because they sounded so close. Like, I didn't know where they were coming from. And we turned, and the bullet entered the car.
Diamond says the lasting trauma is real.
It's been very, very depressing. It's been very hard.
And the nightmares causing her to relive the shooting over and over with no escape.
You hear gunshots growing up, and you hear gunshots all day, every day. But until it hits you, you don't hear it the same.
She says she always imagined helping victims of gun violence and educating young people about the danger of it. As a teen, she was part of a community group called Earth Day Kids. When she was 14, she wrote a song called Put the Guns to Sleep. This is video of them practicing for a performance during Philly's March for Our Lives rally when I interviewed the group in March of 2018.
Wow. These are the real people. We hear a lot about the thugs and the gangsters, and, it is what it is, whatever. But these are the real people, the kids that grow up in these communities into adults, the ones that survive into adulthood. What they've been dealing with their whole life. The specter of gun violence. You think this woman doesn't want to live in a neighborhood full of gliders? You think she wouldn't take that deal in a heartbeat? Get her little kids, her little sons? Could you think about it? She's got little sons. And they're going to grow up in this neighborhood? She must be mortified on the inside for their futures.
The guns to sleep. This is video of them practicing for a performance during Philly's March for Our Lives rally when I interviewed the group in March of 2018.
Gun violence is a problem and it's no solution. It's a problem with no solution to it. And it's like, I never thought I'd be the one affected by it, but I thought.
Make sure you join me 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesdays and Fridays on Nation TV, my other channel, for our live streams. Come hit the StreamYard link and join the panel. Talk to me and the other guests directly. If you had joined us on Tuesday, you would have seen me challenged vehemently and steadfastly about my position that there is no solution for this stuff. And the pressure was put on me. People, a young lady put a lot of pressure on me. A young man put a lot of pressure on me for my stance that there is no solution to this. Some men are not equipped to have something, an instrument that can kill so easily. The terrible inherent anger management issues, the inherent problem-solving issues, the inherent orientation to the future issues, just a lot of issues there that there's no cure for those issues. And then you give him a little machine, a little instrument, he can point at somebody and just end their life. The gratification deferment issues, the inability to defer gratification. There is no solution. Okay? And I take no joy, I take no solace in saying that. It disturbs me deeply. I grew up like this girl in a different Blackistanian province. With a whole different dress code, a whole different slang, whole different monuments, whole different subculture. But with the same DNA. In the same overarching issues. There is no solution.
Gun violence is a problem and it's no solution. It's a problem with no solution to it. And it's like, I never thought I'd be the one affected by it, but I thought that I might be able to help someone that was affected by it.
She wonders if her shooter is also a victim of some sort of trauma that would cause them to do this.
People just need help themselves. Like, maybe if that guy would have been helped, he wouldn't have did it. Like, who knows?
And Diamond has already had 3 surgeries. She has many more to go. Meanwhile, tonight, police tell me the investigation is ongoing. No arrest and no motive. Jason?
Shawnette Wilson, thank you very much. So what can you do? What will you do to help stop the gun violence? If you have ideas on possible solutions, reach out to us and head to fox29.com to find resources and watch more Save Our Streets stories.
This is a separate case I'm going to tell you about. The ex-boyfriend of Sakia Patton is facing murder and weapons charges this morning for killing her in front of her twins. And so he turned himself in yesterday after a 4-day manhunt.
So Steve Keeley is live with the latest on that case. It seems there's been so many.
Too many.
Yeah, this is Donovan Crawford. Now, look, he's a convicted felon, so he's not allowed to own a gun. So that's where the weapons charge comes from. We've learned that euphemism from police, VUFA, Violation of Uniform Firearms Act, that's among the charges. And you'll hear from prosecutors how she was about to get a stay-away order. Well, how many times have we seen women in this area or around the country killed even though they have a restraining order? Because it's not like you can hold up that piece of paper and it's going to block the bullets or a knife or a punch when these guys are coming at you. So
remember this young lady I did the video on the other day? So they have this perp in custody. So this is rare. Now it's up to Mr. Softy, a.k.a. Let Him Go Larry Krasner, to do his job and prosecute the guy. But as you'll see, of course, the guy should have already been under the jail. But, oh well, it's the stand. You know, criminal justice system being racist and stuff. Brother can't catch a break. You jaywalk, you get a life sentence.
have a restraining order because it's not like you can hold up that piece of paper and it's going to block the bullets or a knife or a punch when these guys are coming at you. So the saddest part of this is we approach the end of the year and we talk about 500 homicides, which we're right on the brink of right now officially. You have double the number of domestic violence murders against women in Philadelphia and nearly triple the number of females killed, meaning we had those 3 13-year-old girls gunned down who happened to be so close to a shootout this year. And this happens Friday in front of her twin boys after school after 3 in the afternoon. And you got these little kids that you think of right now, instead of looking forward to Santa Claus or making paper turkeys, they watch their mother get shot and killed on the sidewalk in front of them. And they'll have to live with that the rest of their life.
An approximately 24-year-old black female was shot once in the left chest, once in the left arm, and twice in the right lower back by a known doer.
He was in.
Okay, guys, this is Let Him Go Larry Krasner, a.k.a. Mr. Softy, the super liberal, BLM-funded prosecutor, district attorney down there. And he believes that, you know, the reason there's so many men in prison is because of racism. and systematic this and institutional that. That's the only reason. When you go to the local jail down there or the prisons that those jails feed into, that they're predominantly populated by Sunmen. And you saw him get choked up right there. This guy getting choked up is so disrespectful for this guy to get in front of a podium and at a press conference and act like he's choked up. That a guy with a rap sheet as long as a CVS receipt killed a woman in broad daylight in front of her twins at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a busy street in one of our most populous flagship cities. And he gets to be like, he's choked up about it. Are you kidding me? This blood is on your hands. This woman's blood and the blood of so many people in Philly, some people, is on this guy's hands.
Approximately 24-year-old black female was shot once in the left chest, once in the left arm, and twice in the right lower back by a known doer.
He was an ex-boyfriend of the victim.
Had she had a restraining order against him?
She was in the process of getting a stay-away order from him.
She was walking with her 2 5-year-old twins. She was taken to Presbyterian, where she was later pronounced.
We're approaching Thanksgiving, and unfortunately, the holidays see even more domestic cases. So it's really sad. I did hear the statistics this morning on the news, how many women have been actually killed in Philadelphia this year. It's staggering.
Now, it's funny how they always throw race in everything. A white cop shot this and da da da, and then how they omit it when it's convenient. They insert it when it's convenient, and they omit it when it's convenient. Do you want to see what the people who were getting killed in Philadelphia look like? And the women who are getting killed in Philadelphia look like? Because it's not just women, it's a certain type of woman. Okay, so let's look at these women and see if any descriptors of these women were left out by people that routinely throw in race. Look at these women. Shamika. Because they try to make it seem like, it's just women getting killed. No, it's a certain type of woman. It's definitely a certain type of man, but look at these faces of these women. And race is inserted in everything. But in this, they're just going to leave race out. And that's not counting the girl who I did the story on in the previous video, who just got her eye shot out riding down the street. She could have died. Thank God she survived.
we're approaching Thanksgiving, and unfortunately, the holidays see even more domestic cases. So it's really sad. I did hear the statistics this morning on the news, how many women have been actually killed in Philadelphia this year. It's staggering.
Well, to hear Larry Krasner, who has now handled probably hundreds of murders, to see his voice break like others who see this stuff or report on this stuff or legally handle this stuff in a courthouse, it still gets to you, even when you have the strength and the power to do something about it. And that's a good sign, whether you like Mr. Krasner or not, to know that he feels it in his heart as much as he's trying to fight it in his brain, like everybody here at police headquarters is doing on both.
Wow, man. The shade is real. He says someone who has the power to do something about it. And whether you like Krasner or not, at least you know he feels it in his heart as much as he's trying to fight it in his brain. With all these theories they have. He's got all these theories, and this, well, it's institutional this, and it's systematic that, and we can't prosecute these cases because the jails are so... Listen, man. Lock up the violent criminals and give these people in Philadelphia a chance to walk the streets, man. Prosecute these cases so that you not only get the thugs off the street, but you send a message to the future thugs to not be so brazen and emboldened and reckless and wanton with their violence. Because when you don't prosecute, word on the streets, you ever heard the term the streets talk? The streets talk. Hey man, you know, if you shoot somebody, they're not gonna prosecute you. If you get caught with a gun, they're not gonna prosecute you. If you kill somebody, you're gonna get like 5 years tops. But that's only after getting an ankle monitor and a 2023 court date. And most of these guys don't think they're going to be alive next month. Because they're out in the streets playing cowboy. And you're going to give him, and he's going to shoot somebody or kill somebody, and you're going to send him out of the courtroom with an ankle monitor and a court date for November 2023. And he don't know if he's going to be alive next week.
Here, Larry Krasner, who has now handled probably hundreds of murders, to see his voice break like others who see this stuff or report on this stuff or legally handle this stuff in a courthouse, it still gets to you, even when you have the strength and the power to do something about it. And that's a good sign, whether you like Mr. Krasner or not, to know that he feels it in his heart as much as he's trying to fight it in his brain, like everybody here at police headquarters is doing on both accounts as well. So we'll see you in an hour, and we'll be talking to Police Commissioner Outlaw. And it's sad that we can't just talk to her about dinners to the needy on Thanksgiving, but we have to talk to her about the approach, just the most awful year in Philadelphia history, and she happens to be in charge when that's happening. So we'll see you in an hour.
Yeah, I thought 1990 was bad when we had 500 killings, but this is weird.
Again, with a tragic milestone. As of tonight, 500 people have lost their lives to violence in Philadelphia. Hi, I'm Jessica Cartalia. Yuki is off tonight. 500 homicides ties the record set back in 1990, but this year is not over yet. The latest deadly shooting claimed the life of a woman in South Philly. She was shot multiple times at 7th and Jackson Streets. Eyewitness News reporter Carrie Corrado is live with new reaction tonight from city leaders. Carrie?
Jessica, good evening. The mayor releasing a statement tonight saying he is heartbroken and outraged. She says his administration is working endlessly to tackle this crisis and make sure the streets are safer. A chilling cry for help. A 55-year-old woman running for her life before she was gunned down in South Philly. We stopped the surveillance video out of respect for her family. Another angle captures a man who police say is the woman's estranged husband, casually walking away after shooting her multiple times in the chest.
Wow, that was rough, Jack. Wow. the brazenness, the broad daylightness of these crimes, it never ceases to amaze me. I thought the one I did a week and a half ago, I mean, God, these sisters, these women are being slaughtered on the street, in front of everybody, broad daylight, sunny, major intersections.
This is a domestic incident. A male was chasing a woman on the 600 block of Jackson Street, and upon arriving right in front of this corner store, fired 5 times.
This shooting marks a grim milestone of 500 homicides in Philadelphia this year. The city hasn't seen a staggering statistic like this since 1990.
It's a number, however, we can't simply say because it's the 500th, it's any more special than any of the 499 that preceded it.
Not for nothing, this inspector looks like Peter from Family Guy, man.
It's a number, however, we can't simply say because it's the 500th, it's any more special than any of the 499 that preceded it. Each is a life. Each is a person who had family, who had friends, a life in front of them that's been snuffed out by gun violence.
Our community. Police Commissioner Danielle Outlaw vowed to seek justice for the victims' families, saying each and every homicide carries with it a profound sense of loss. However, for our city to have reached such a tragic milestone, 500 lives cut short, it carries a weight that is almost impossible to truly comprehend. In the meantime, Mayor Jim Kenney and other city officials reacted to the city's gun violence epidemic today.
It's heartbreaking, heart-wrenching. It's terrible to every morning get up and to have to look at the numbers.
I'm begging to please stop shooting each other, right? Stop killing our community, please.
That's embarrassing and shameful. That's shameful. I hope he knows how embarrassing that is, but he just had his wits in. Like there's no solution. This ain't gonna work. Please ain't gonna work. But there's no solution. All you can do is a very hard, draconian crime bill just to make the streets safe, relatively safe again. Get it down to like 300 murders a year, where it used to be. 320 murders a year, something like that.
Stop killing our community, please.
As for the latest shooting, police say they know who the suspect is and they're urging him to turn himself in. We're live tonight. Carrie Corrado, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
Carrie, thank you.